Welcome to JTV.
You're going to church on Sunday. There's no love in your heart on Monday. You're trying to show me that you know yourself. You better purify your heart and you know yourself. You better purify your heart and you know yourself. But love it, that the children are telling you. A fool saving is there's no God, no God. But if that's your belief, my friend, it's too sad, too sad. But now you're trying to tell me that you know yourself. You got to purify your heart and you know yourself. You got to purify your heart and you know yourself. You're going to church on Sunday. There's no love in your heart.
The legend Johnny Osborne there. Purify your hearts. Shout out to Bionic Dub for the upload. Let's get into the video.
When 90s pop star and mysterious girl singer Peter Andre bagged a starring role in a feature film, he never expected to find himself in the centre of a cultural row about appropriation and race.
Well, guess what? That's exactly where he did end up after posting this trailer of Jafaicans, a film in which Peter impersonates a Jamaican gangster. Let's take a look.
My name is Gary Buckle, wheeler dealer and troublemaker.
You said it was urgent. What is it?
It's Nan. I need 35 grand to pay for her care home fees. How am I going to get the money?
Get a job, like the rest of us.
And who's going to hire me?
Can't believe it, man. You resemble my father so much.
I want to go to Jamaica to pay for her care home fees. How am I going to get the money?
Get a job, like the rest of us.
And who's going to hire me?
Can't believe it, man. You resemble my father so much.
You want to go to Jamaica, pose as this Jamaican gangster, steal all his dough, and then hope to live. Me and to pay for her care home fees. How am I going to get the money?
Get a job, like the rest of us.
And who's going to hire me?
Can't believe it, man. You resemble my father so much.
You want to go to Jamaica, pose as this Jamaican gangster, steal all his dough, and then hope to live. I mean, all I've got to do is learn the Jamaican accent.
Be ready for dough. We'll make to try and stop you.
Here we go.
Let them know man say that kill man alright. Blood, blood.
Can accent.
Be ready for dough. We'll make to try and stop you.
Here we go.
Let them know man say that kill man alright. Blood, blood.
Learn the Jamaican accent.
Be ready for dough. We'll make to try and stop you.
Here we go.
Let them know man say that kill man alright. Blood, blood.
All right. Technical director and producer Freddie Nwaku joined us now. Welcome, guys.
Oh,
How's it
welcome,
going?
welcome.
So we have the new film Jafaican, Peter Andre, and the director is to his right, Alison. I think it's Hammond. Shout out to Birmingham. Yeah, all my peeps up in Birmingham, all up north, all over the UK, all across the diaspora. You know, me in America, we're good. You know what I mean? Shout out to Tar, shout out to all the kingdom. Yeah, man. Shout out to my mum and dad. You know what I mean? All my family. Now, when it comes to comedy for myself, as I am, well, I would have said I try to think of myself being funny, but I was always like a class clown anyway, growing up. Yeah, class clown. I think half of the reason was I suffered with being shy as a kid. Yeah, believe it or not. Yeah. As a little kid, I was petrified, you know, standing up in front of people or talking and stuff like that. Even can say like my first day at school in Jamaica, I had to stand up in my English class and introduce myself to my new classmates. How embarrassing was that? You know? So, for myself, my mum and dad being from Jamaica, right? And grew up with my grandma, right, in Hackney, right? And then grew up in North London, yeah? So, with Jamaica, like growing up, I had the experiences of going to Jamaica, okay? Going to Jamaica. Maybe by the time I reached to my teenagers, I'd already been to Jamaica around 14 times, you know, and lived there for a period of time as well. Shout out to Jamaica. And it truly was a great experience for myself. I learnt so much. What I did learn, as people in Jamaica know me as English, yeah, they know me as English, right? And shout out to Islington, yeah, St. Mary, yeah, right? And it becomes clear that, you know, you're definitely English, you know, and you're treated as such, and rightfully so, I say, rightfully so, okay? So, I kind of embraced it. My mum hated it, you know what I mean? She hated, you know, that they were calling me English. But I never really had a problem with it, you know what I mean? But I learned a lot. And being in a rural area, not being in Kingston, being in a rural area in the hills of St Mary, it, you know, you're kind of you're thrown into, say, the lion's den. You're deep within Jamaican society. Okay, so you're not living with rich folks. You're not living in a ghetto, right, or a garrison area, right? So you're living in like a countryside. So when it comes to Jamaica, I hold that dear to my heart. What it transformed me as a person, transformed me into a person. Bushcraft, farming, you name it, you name it. Relationships, you know what I mean. Shout out to my son, right? And for me, it's a great experience. But it's your approach, it's your approach, and you meet so many different characters in Jamaica. For me, it's a truly remarkable place, So back to comedy. Well, when it comes to comedy, in my humble, noble perspective, I would say that, when it comes to comedy, it's kind of, you have to approach it in comedy. You have to approach it in comedy. Now, there is important messages or things that people could look at as disrespect. Okay, disrespect to the Jamaican culture. If people from outside, make a comedy, but for me, once it's in comedy, it's very hard to get upset about. Okay, to get upset about. You could look at it in a negative way, or you could also look at things in a positive way. For myself, Jamaica, the small little island, has done great things. Great things from its past of a slave, basically it was a slave nation. Okay, and before that, you had your Tainos, right? Taino Indians. So it's got a rich history, but what I mean is, considering the size of other countries and on that kind of scale, for the size of Jamaica and also its humble beginnings, Jamaica have done very well, and I would like to salute Jamaica for what they've done, and I would like to salute all black people across the globe, because for whatever you achieve, it must go down as a remarkable feat, meaning that it's not easy for us. It's not easy for us. So if in that way, if we do succeed with, in your eyes, however you see success, or you right, I mean, even just to know that we're still here as a people is a great achievement after what we've been through. So when it comes to comedy, people kind of have to give that a pass. You know what I mean? You can have your personal opinion, which is perfectly fine. But if it's dropped as a comedy, then there's not much I believe you can really disagree with. So also, it's the focus. Jamaica always is the focus. So that is kind of showing that, people gravitate towards Jamaica. And again, that is remarkable for the size of the island, for the size. Okay, and we've had some great people that have come out of Jamaica and have influenced the world that we live in today. Absolutely have. Okay, and I'm not saying we're doing more than each other. I'm not saying that. We're talking about Jamaica. We're talking about the Jafaicans, right? We're talking about the Jamaicans, right? And so maybe just think about that as well. You know, why is it that Jamaica's always been spoken about, or you know, um, people from other cultures, people from other tribes, or people from different races um, find it a place where they want to have some sort of connection with. Okay, so let's run the video after my long rant there. This is JTV. Agree or disagree? You know what I mean? It's the place for you. That's all I can say. Shout out to Pete Andre, but I'm sorry, every time I see Pete Andre, I just have to laugh. His face makes me laugh, Peter Andre. I can't remember the gentleman's name on the right, but when while we're playing the video, so shout out to you, and shout out to Peter Andre. Okay, so let's have a look and see what's being said in this interview. And this was on This Morning, ITV show, normally in the morning times. And OLeary, I actually met OLeary. He's a really nice chap, really nice chap. He had a Vespa bike. I can't remember. It was somewhere. I can't remember where I was, and I saw him. Very nice chap. OLeary. Okay, so shout out to him and shout out to Alison as well.
I mean, I bet you didn't expect this to happen. I mean, this has got to be the best press you've ever had, isn't it, Freddie? Come on.
It's amazing, man. Like, I'm humbled.
It's unbelievable, but maybe not the press that we really wanted.
Right, so just a few quotes. I actually thought it was satire at first. I can't believe it's real. This isn't cultural appreciation, it's cultural appropriation. It's lazy, tone deaf, and frankly embarrassing. How does someone in the production team not stop and say this must be a bad idea? So when you hear that stuff, are you like, any publicity is good publicity?
Yeah, but you haven't mentioned all the great comments we've had.
Well, that's what we are talking about.
Get there.
The notion of cultural appropriation. So when you hear that stuff, do you... I mean, Freddie, I'll start with you. How do you feel? Because you wrote the film.
Yeah. I don't see it that way. I think any kind of conversation, anything that promotes conversation is great, and debate, and also put a great highlight on a beautiful country and a beautiful culture. So I don't see it as appropriation in any shape or form.
Did you, when you were writing it and when you started shooting it, did that ever come into your mind that you would get a backlash like this?
No, not at all. Because we the team we have Jamaican writers that went through the script with us. We sat down with our production team. Most of them are Jamaican. So it was a 3-year process. Yeah. So we've sat down with
Jamaican royalty in there, and Oliver Samuels as well.
I didn't never see it.
I think actually, sorry, I'm interrupting. I think what I found strange is that we took a process of nearly 3 years from starting this to finishing, and we sat with legends like Oliver Samuels doing the read over, doing the script.
The first thing, I don't like how Peter Andre just cut the man off like that. It's like the man shouldn't even have been there then. If you're going to cut a man off. The man was in his flow. The man was talking and him just jumping. Again, you're talking about cultural differences, If you ever done that to some man in yard, listen, they might not even talk to you again. Do you know what I mean about your cutting man? When man's talking and all that. Okay? When I went to Jamaica, I was like a little baby lamb. Yeah, I was like a baby lamb. And for good reason to sit down and listen and learn about you're going to come here and tell people, wow, go on. Nah. And I really did get disgruntled by that when people come from their country and come to someone else's country and try to tell them, wow, go on. I mean, come on. Yes, you may develop or you may have a an opinion, but that's all it is, really. You know, if you just come to someone's country, to be honest, the first thing you should do is respect the customs, learn the customs, and how, go easy, like, But a lot of people, I don't know if it's their belly get full or what, or the spells that are going on in the UK, because people just act different once they get abroad, But then again, you got to look into people's background, and it's not, it's never so easy to understand how someone uh comes up with their reasoning. Okay, sometimes if it's that important, you got to go all the way back to childhood, study the person coming up to understand how they can get to their kind of psychology. Yeah, but for me, I didn't like that cut off part there. I mean, let's listen it again. Because to be honest, he's a director, he's a black man. We want to hear what he's got to say, and he's got to articulate himself, and and let us know, because it's very insightful. It's insightful for myself, for people that don't know about Jamaica, or it's a chance for us to explain our reasons for doing something. And what doesn't help is someone cutting you off.
That's like
No, not at all. Because the team we have Jamaican writers that went through the script with us. We sat down with our production team. Most of them are Jamaican, so it was a 3-year process.
Yeah.
So we've sat down with
Jamaican royalty in there, and Oliver Samuels and Sis as well.
Now, Oliver Samuels. Okay. All right. Let me drop something now. Okay. Let's watch something of Oliver Samuels. So here we have Oliver Samuels on your screen. Oliver Samuels. Now this one is Oliver at Large, and it's the scene of the airport, which is a wonderful thing. I mean, my mum and dad bought the whole box set, and as a kid, me and my little sister, and my big sister as well, we used to just watch all the time Oliver. You understand? So it became a part of our, my comedy is my background, my kind of style. Okay, right? It's an infusion of, many different styles, But here's one for you. Oliver at Large was written by a white person. It's not a black person that wrote Oliver at Large. Okay? So Oliver at Large, Oliver Samuels, he's a great Jamaican comedian. Okay, and let's do a little biography quickly as well. And also there is before I forget, 1 second there. Before I forget, there's another black show that was written by a white person, right? So the Real McCoy was also a program that was written by white people, okay, right, with the great Leo Chester, okay, right, there he is, Leo Chester, and I can't remember all the names. So this was a kind of multicultural show in the 1990s. Another part of comedy that really had an effect on myself growing up. But this was a white person that wrote this comedy sketches. Yeah, all right. So that's another little information there for you. All right.
Adolphus Samuels, born on November 4th, 1948, in Harmony Hall, St. Mary, Jamaica, is a highly acclaimed Jamaican comedian and actor. He is often referred to as the King of Comedy in Jamaica due to his extensive career in both stand-up and comic theatre, spanning over 4 decades. Key information about Oliver Samuels: birth name, Oliver Adolphus Samuels, born November 4th, 1948, in St. Mary, colony of Jamaica, British Empire. Occupation: comedian and actor. Notable works: he is widely recognized for his iconic TV series, Oliver at Large, which premiered in 1987, and played a significant role in establishing him as a household name. He has also appeared in numerous plays and films. Career highlights: began his involvement in drama at a young age, performing with other children on the banana plantation where he grew up, attended Dint Hill Technical High School, and later enrolled in the Jamaica Theatre School. His first play was A Raisin in the Sun, where he had an offstage voice role, appeared in over 13 pantomimes, and more than 30 other productions, gained international recognition with appearances in the BBC series The Fight Against Slavery, and Chef, starred in the popular television series Oliver at Large, Oliver, and Large and in Charge, produced an album with the well-known single Oliver You Large, has toured extensively, performing to international audiences in cities like London and New York, currently serves as the marketing and public relations manager, and a director, at MacD's Auto Sales and Rentals, received an honorary Doctor of Letters degree from the University of the West Indies, UW1, Mona campus, for his contributions to regional and international development. Family: he is a father of 6 children, including 3 sons and twin daughters, and has also adopted a daughter. His brother is Christopher Humber. For information on current shows or appearances, you may find updates through sources like his official website, linked to oliver-samuels.com, or by checking the box office contact for current plays, such as the Little Theatre in Kingston, Jamaica, which can be reached at 8764-607-661. Oliver at Large was mainly written by Patrick Brown, a well-known and highly respected Jamaican playwright. So no, the primary writer of Oliver at Large was not white. Patrick Brown is a prominent figure in Jamaican theatre, and is recognized for his comedic writing that deeply reflects Jamaican culture and humour.
Well, I didn't know that. So that's so I've been proven wrong there. And if someone has been proven wrong, you know, humbly you bow out, you know, and you change. So now I am enlightened. Let's get a picture of Patrick Brown. So it's clear there. We can see that Patrick Brown. Oh, and I think I know him. Okay, Patrick Brown. Okay. So that's a picture of Patrick Brown. So he's a black writer. I may have got that wrong, and I may have got mixed up with not that it's an excuse. With the real McCoy.
Individuals named Patrick Brown associated with Jamaica, known for different fields. Patrick Brown, playwright/dramatist. He is a well-known Jamaican writer and director, particularly in theatre. He has penned many memorable scripts for modern Jamaican theatre, and received national honours for his contributions. His works often use comedy to address societal issues, such as Windscreen Posse, which highlights child abuse. Patrick Brown, footballer/soccer player, a Jamaican professional footballer, born in 1993, who plays as a midfielder. He has played for several clubs in the Jamaica Premier League, including Dunbeholden FC, Humble Lion FC, Arnott Gardens FC, and UWIFC. Patrick Brown, missing person. The Jamaica Constabulary Force issued an Ananda alert for a 13-year-old named Patrick Brown who went missing from Red Hills, St. Andrew. Patrick Brown, physician and naturalist. Historically, there was a physician and naturalist named Patrick Brown who published The Civil and Natural History of Jamaica in 1756, a significant work on the island's natural history. Huntley Patrick Brown, academic. Author of the thesis, A State of Violence, Jamaica's Anti-Queer Posture, from Syracuse University. It's The Real McCoy, most commonly refers to a groundbreaking British sketch comedy show that aired on BBC television from 1991 to 1996. Here's some information about it. Pioneering show. The Real McCoy was significant for being a mainstream platform for Black and Asian British comedians. It brought a fresh, diverse perspective to British television comedy. Format. It was a sketch comedy show, featuring a series of short, humorous scenes and characters. Cast. The show launched and featured the talents of many comedians who went on to become well known, including Mira Sayal, who later gained further fame with Goodness Gracious Me and the Kumars at number 42, Felix Dexter, Robbie Gee, Luella Gideon, Leo Chester, Judith Jacob, Eddie Nestor, Kulvinder Gear, also later in Goodness Gracious Me, Curtis Walker, Ishmael Thomas, as the double act Curtis and Ishmael, Sanjeev Bhaskar, another Goodness Gracious Me star, Content. The sketches often played with notions of race and identity in Britain, confronting stereotypes and offering sharp, insightful humour. While it had a strong social commentary, it wasn't overtly political, and also featured musical acts and stand-up routines in later series. Popularity. It was very successful, becoming a cult hit and attracting audiences of up to 5 million viewers. Its popularity even drew famous guest appearances from figures like Ian Wright, Linford Christie, and Frank Bruno. Legacy. The Real McCoy played a crucial role in paving the way for more diverse comedy on British television, and helped launch the careers of many talented performers. Availability. Despite its popularity, it has never been fully released on DVD. However, some episodes have been available for streaming on platforms like BBC iPlayer, in the UK, and Now TV. Important note, there's also an older American sitcom from the 1950s/60s called The Real McCoys, and a 1993 American crime film called The Real McCoy. If you were looking for information on those, please clarify. But generally, in the context of comedy information, The Real McCoy usually refers to the British sketch show. To a few different things. The Real McCoy TV series 1991 to 1996. This was a British sketch comedy series that featured a primarily black and Asian cast. The main writer-performers included Llewellyn Gideon, Colette Johnson, Curtis Walker, Ishmael Thomas, Eddie Nestor, Judith Jacob, Felix Dexter, and Kulvinder Gear. The executive producer, Charlie Hanson, co-founded the Black Theatre Cooperative. The Real McCoy, book by Frederick Franklin van der Water, 1931. This is a biography of the Prohibition-era rum runner, Bill McCoy. Frederick Franklin van der Water was the author. The Real McCoy, book by Darren Strauss, 2002. This is a novel by Darren Strauss. The Real McCoy, The Life of an African-American Inventor, book by Wendy Towle, 1993. This is a biography of Elijah McCoy, an African-American inventor. The Real McCoy, 1993 film. This film was written by William Davies and William Osborne. Given the information available, the race of the writer depends on which The Real McCoy you are referring to. Some versions were written by Black and Asian writers, the TV series, while others do not have explicit information on the writer's race in the provided context. The books by Frederick Franklin van der Water and Darren Strauss, and the film.
Alright, so it's not really showing me what I want. I may have to pick up the picture. So maybe Charlie Hanson. So maybe I've been proven wrong there again. Okay, so I've shown and proved. Okay, and I've rectified my mistake, and a man that's never made a mistake has never made a discovery. How about that? So I'm not sure if that's him here. Charlie Hanson. Got Charlie Hanson here. Okay. So Charlie Hanson. Okay, so is an award-winning producer. Charlie Hanson has been removed from Netflix production after life and suspended from BAFTA following accusations by women of historical sexual misconduct. Not sure if that's the one with Real McCoy. I'm going to double check now. So it does look like this is the man. In the comment section, if I'm wrong, please provide. I'll look into it a bit more. You may be thinking, well, it's not that important. What I was trying to say is really, when it comes to Jamaica, you know, the connection with we call it the white race, you know, is it part and parcel? Absolutely connected in every aspect. The Rastafarian movement was maybe the only truly black movement coming out of Jamaica. which tried to cut the ties with the European mindset. And also, again, Rastafarianism is also something that's looked down on. And the positive things and the achievements of what they achieved, for myself, is always downplayed. But we're gonna watch on, and hopefully I'll be able to show you a bit. And I'll have to do a show on Rastafari. Okay, right. So let's get back to this morning.
It's perfect. I love it.
And Oliver Samuels and Sizzle as well.
I didn't never see it.
I think actually, sorry, I'm interrupting.
Huh.
I think what I found strange is that we took a process of nearly 3 years from starting this to finishing, and we sat with legends like Oliver Samuels doing the read over, doing the script, and actually filming it. And when we went to Judgment Yard, which is where Sizzler Kalungi, reggae icon, lives, and we're invited into there to do this film, the whole process, if there was any point where any one of them said to us, this is not right, we shouldn't do it,
We would have stopped.
yeah, but that's why we were a bit
Yeah.
shocked, because we had all the approval from everyone all the way along, and we laughed and we did take after take because we were all laughing so much when we were doing it. And so I think we were a little bit like,
It was a bit of a shock, to be fair.
When did you first found out there was a bit of a backlash? So when did that happen? Like,
I know exactly when it happened.
Was it is it the trailer? Because I feel like it was putting the trailer out because it's out of context. Nobody's seen the film. I think them seeing the trailer, I think that was the reason.
Yes, but how interesting is this? I put it on Instagram, I put it on Facebook, I put it on X, and I put it on TikTok.
Yeah.
Facebook, and Instagram have stayed there. It's always stayed there, and all the comments are positive, and people are angry about that because the second I put it on X, it was horrific.
That's the worst
And
place
it's
to
not
put
the
it.
first time. It's not the first time it's happened to me. You know, when I did GB News, I got the same thing. I've had loads of times where X has really slated me. So when we did that, the press just took what was on X, and we were like, yeah, but what about what's on Instagram? And so we understand. Look, I know how the game is. I get it.
It goes part and parcel with the game, so.
But it's a great film.
Well, I've actually seen the film, and I'm going to be honest with you, I absolutely loved the film. I mean, I am a Jamaican. My mum was Jamaican, my dad was Jamaican. I've been to Jamaica, I've seen Jamaica. And one of the mottos of Jamaica is, out of one is many people.
Yeah.
And, you know...
Well, it actually is out of many is one. In some ways, it is true, but I mean another country that has a similar theme. Okay, is South Africa with is it the Rainbow Nation? So yes, it is. It's a country motto. Does it truly reflect? I mean, I presume it does. I mean, I wouldn't even bother to try and change that. It is what it is. But she's right there, Alison Hammond, about out of many is one. But again, not because it's out of many one, you know, looking at the demographics of Jamaica, now, you could say it is maybe 90% black. Okay, whether or not the black have been mixed with, which is another different show. I mean, Who's Truly Jamaican. I've also done Who's Truly English. These are coming out soon. So we'll be exploring these phenomenons. Okay. So what do you think? Does that truly reflect what Jamaica is? Out of many one. Also, there's another motto that I don't hear people talking about is the land of wood and water. Now, for me, that is more of what Jamaica's about. It is a land of wood and water. Okay, right. So that's the crest there. And again, the crest, if you look at the crest of Jamaica, okay, right, you can see the Tainos, you can see the alligator, the crocodile. So we have crocodiles in Jamaica. You can also see the cross, the red cross, and I think that's gold pineapples, I think. So you have a Taino woman on the left holding a basket. You also have the crown at the top and the insignia. Okay, out of many one people, the banner down at the bottom, and on the right hand side you have a Taino man holding a spear. Okay, right. So that is the coat of arms, right? And again, you got to go deep into like coat of arms and stuff like that when it comes to a place like Jamaica. Okay, which for me was created by the age of discovery. We call it the age of discovery. For some, may have been discovered by someone else before, but in modern history, the European powers, extraordinary discoveries, okay, which today built these great nations. So before the Industrial Revolution, this was kind of the foundation. I mean, the wealth, the extreme wealth that was made from their discoveries. Okay, places like Spain, Portugal, which were the first who found the trade winds, and South Africa. Okay. The Cape of Good Hope, one of the most dangerous seas in the world. Okay, where ships used to disappear. Okay. So I have my book over there about that. It's a great read about South African history. Okay. And so you had the UK, Dutch, maybe even the Danish as well. Many countries were involved in the exploration. Okay, the exploration period or the discovery period in the modern age. Okay, right. So that's out of many is one. So we have the land of wood and water, which refers to Jamaica, a Caribbean island country known for its abundant forests and waterways. And this name originates from the Taino people who called the island Jamaica. And sometimes I refer to Jamaica as such, meaning land of springs or land of wood and water. And this phrase reflects the island's natural beauty and resources. We also got the elaboration, the geographical features. Jamaica is an island with a varied landscape, including mountains, rivers, and coastal areas. The term land of wood and water highlights the island's lush forests and abundant water sources, such as rivers, springs, and waterfalls. Shout out to Silver Fox. And yeah, Dotty Dread, I big up Silver Fox, my brethren, you know. Yeah, man, shout out to him, you know. Yeah, man, big up Leon. And my brother. So we got the Taino people who were the indigenous inhabitants of the island called Jamaica, which translated to land of springs or land of wood and water. This name reflects their perception of the island's rich natural resources. So we got the cultural significance as well. And the phrase land of wood and water is a well-known descriptor of Jamaica and is often used to convey the island's natural beauty and vibrant culture. Then we have tourism, which is Jamaica's golden goose. Jamaica's natural resources include its forests and waterways attracts tourists who come to experience its beaches, mountains, and diverse ecosystems. We also have environmental importance. Jamaica's forests and water sources play a crucial role in its ecosystem and are important for biodiversity and climate regulation. Let's get back to the video. Jim Fierce. Oh, it makes me laugh. You've just got a funny face, Peter Andre.
You get white Jamaicans, you get Chinese Jamaicans, you get Jamaicans of all colours. You're a white man playing a white Jamaican man, which is
yeah. So, you know, again, you know, with the yes. Jamaicans, Indians, white. Yeah, you could even say there is no such thing as, you know, like the Jamaicans. The Jamaicans are hybrid. We'll do that in another show. But there is layers to it, and you can't get away from the layers. And again, the percentage of the Asian community and the white are the minority in Jamaica. And Jamaica, truly Jamaica, yes, Jamaica. We're not talking about ex-Jamaica before the this discovery by the Europeans of Jamaica. We're talking about, once you call a place Jamaica, that is English, okay, right? So Spain was in Jamaica first, okay. So Jamaica was, what did they call Jamaica? It wasn't Santiago. I'll have to double check that, okay. But the name Jamaica, it could have been the Spanish, okay, right? It could have been the Spanish, but the Spanish and the English had a war, okay, and Spain gave up Jamaica to the British Empire. So yes, it is a fact, but again, the layers. So it was the Africans that were brought there, okay, and when they were brought there, that's the Jamaica you know today, okay, that's the Jamaica you know today. And yes, Jamaica has many different races there, but the majority is black. And the true origins of Jamaica, now I want you to remember it's a time frame. So when I say Jamaica, that is just a time frame from when Spain found it, Christopher Columbus discovered it, okay, right, and found the Taínos there. So it can't have been that much of a discovery. You like that one there, Rifleman? Yeah, right. So with, you know, again, you can't really, it's like it's subtly, it's like black people are always being pushed to one side in Jamaica to kind of say, well, you know, the minority is more important than the majority. You see, you look at most of the prime ministers from Jamaica, they're of a lighter skin tone, okay, parliament, but even that, again, even in parliament, they are the minority and the black is a majority. So again, look, it's people's perception. Look, if people are brought up in the UK, like myself, will have a view of Jamaica, and I believe it's distorted. I was distorted. I was under witchcraft, spellbound by the UK, because that's where I grew up. That's what I knew. Yes, being in a Jamaican household, yes, right, but I couldn't fully say I was Jamaican as, you know, like someone that's born on the island. You know, I'm from Jamaican parentage. So it's very important to not kind of you know, be for myself. I'm not telling people what to do. For myself, I don't say I'm Jamaican. No, I'll have to say, boy, you know, I'm born in England. You know, so it would be English, Jamaican, African. Okay, you can't you know, never try to really rewrite things so it kind of suits yourself. It is what it is. Okay, it is what it is. I was born here, right? And I'm sure Alison was. And our perception is going to be different. And it's not your fault. It's not your fault. It's not a get at Alison moment. No, no, none of that. None of that. It's not that, because I truly understand, and I mean, I'm under the same witchcraft myself. And when you truly understand how psychology, especially the British Empire, took control of the people's minds, you see, took control of the people's minds, and you could say across the whole globe, okay, transform people into a way of life that was under the British Empire, okay. So we're truly a result of the British Empire and our thoughts, okay, and our perceptions can be, as much as we want to believe that we may be pro black or you understand, or I'm a man that love Africa and say got Africa all day long, okay. But again, my perception going to be different from someone else's perception depending on their environment, because I believe that you are your environment. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think. Do you agree with what Alison said? Do you disagree? Okay.
Out of one is many people.
Yeah.
And, you know, you get white Jamaicans, you get Chinese Jamaicans, you get Jamaicans of all colours. You're a white man playing a white Jamaican man, which is basically what you're doing. You're doing it out of love for your nan.
Yeah.
And I just think it's a lovely... I like the film. I absolutely loved it. And most of my family who are Jamaican love the movie.
That means a lot, and I think we understand, and I've always said it's really important that if someone is genuinely offended by something, you need to hear them.
Yeah.
You know, the problem is when you get people that are offended, but then you go, well, what are you offended about? And they're like...
Well, it's all context and
You know,
intent, isn't it?
But
Well, I was a little
No,
bit
there was
offended
one.
by
Sorry, there's
Peter's
one part there.
white Jamaican man, which is basically what you're doing.
One part there, Alison said about his nan, and again, it's very rushed. This interview, it's not very in depth, you know. So I think she said something about someone's nan. So I don't know if Peter Andre has some connection to Jamaica. Is that what it is? Is that where, you know? Is that the angle he's coming with? But they didn't really go into it, you know. If they'd have gone into it a little bit more, they kind of hint. But you know, that one, you know, I'm quite a good listener. I do quite a lot of listening, and I love radio, you know. And you can see that some of the videos, they're just blank screens, but have a listen sometimes. Just sit back and listen. It's very interesting when you listen to radio. I love radio. I find it very interesting to listen. Visually, I find myself being drawn into like a dreamlike state, you know what I mean? I'm not getting to concentrate on what people are saying as much as listening an audio. Let me know how you feel again. You understand? That's what rocks with me. You understand? So she did say something about his grandmother. I'm not sure what happened there. If his parent, we can double check that ourselves as well.
You're doing it out of love for your nan.
Yeah.
And I just think it's a lovely... I like the film. I absolutely loved it. And most of my family who are Jamaican love the movie.
That means a lot, and I think we understand, and I've always said it's really important that if someone is genuinely offended by something, you need to hear them.
Yeah.
You know, the problem is when you get people that are offended, but then you go, well, what are you offended about? And they're like...
Well, it's all context and
You know,
intent, isn't it?
But
Well, I
yeah,
was a little
yeah.
bit offended by Peter's acting. How joking. Oh,
Which
joking.
part? Which part, baby?
I wasn't offended by the movie at all, but I think you did a really cracking job.
Thank you, sweet.
And I urge people to actually watch the movie and not go on the trailer.
Yeah, well, the trailer definitely did. It was designed to do something, but I didn't know it was going to quite do that.
Yeah, I mean, trailers are designed
mean,
to get people to want to watch a film.
Look, yes, look, there's been many times a trailer has put me off of films, you know. I couldn't say this has really put me off, the trailer or the actual film. I'm sure I would probably, because I'm approaching it as a comedy, you understand? So, for myself, it's not going to be anything like new. It's just, for me, it's just a remix. It's just a remix of ideas. You know, it's all Jamaica's always on in the spotlight. You know, under the microscope. You know, it's a place of interest. People are interested in Jamaica. Okay, right? And it is fair to say some of Jamaican people, yeah, they're a little bit, you know, too bossy with it. You know what I mean? And we got humbleness, but the real Jamaica, the real Jamaican people is that humble. You know what I mean? They're very nice people, very warm, very friendly. You know, very warm and very friendly. And it's outside influences that has, you know, created Jamaica. For myself, it you know, the current situation for myself, I really, my heart is torn out because of such a wonderful people, you know, such a wonderful people. Have been through so much, and you know, my issue is the killing of one another, you know, killing your brother and your sister. I mean, that is when you know that not everyone, you see, the majority good, minority bad. I mean, go in the comment section, let me know if I'm wrong again, which I have been proven wrong there. And if I am proven wrong, I ain't silly. I'm gonna change my mind. Why would I try to push something that is not true? You understand? And hasn't been proven. Okay. So yes, Jamaica is very intriguing, you know. And also, just for myself, you know, I like myself, I push for Africa, but I go so far because you got to have your field work. It's all good and reading book and stuff like that, but the real thing is getting going into the field. You know, getting your hands dirty, being immersed in the society. You know? So, black people, especially in the diaspora, we need to work on our field work. Okay, so if we're talking about let's go and do it, let's get there and see for ourselves. You understand? Right? Experience things for yourself, not hearsay. Okay, and then again, that doesn't mean that it's not true. It's not true. Okay, but you have to use a balanced mind, sound right reason. Okay, so once that's all cleared up, the negative forces, and you understand, there's a lot of things battling us. You know, right? Like Bob Marley said, Babylon, you know, release the chains, but they got our brains, you know, and that's what it is. And the brain is the most important part of the body. It controls everything. You understand? So once that's been conquered, right, people are no longer in. They no longer control their actions. You see? So field work is very important. And then what kind of field work you're doing. Okay, we're not talking about being in a hotel and driving around Jamaica. And you understand? You've got to be immersed into it. You understand? Immerse yourself. Like Africa. I wouldn't want to be stuck in some hotel. I want to be with the people them. I eat the people them. You understand? Right? Live like a family. I am a guest. You know? I come correct. Nothing straighter than a sharp edge. You know what I mean? Right? Right? Let me know what you think. Let's get back to the video.
And again, to spark conversation, and I think he's done that.
Look, if you don't mind me saying, because I know we haven't got long, I
Yeah.
just
And also, again, Jamaica has a very rich history, but you know, it's... One second. So also, you know, again, Jamaica's... there's many different parts of Jamaica. So they you know, again, field work, you know, you can't really... You know, you can't really be too harsh on people, because you know, some people just don't know. They don't know. They can only experience Jamaica, you know, the way that they experience it. You know, I was very lucky to be dropped in the ocean, you know what I mean, into the heart of Jamaica, you know, learning from scratch, you know. So it's a lot, for me, Jamaica is a lot more than reggae and dreadlocks and smoking ganja, you know, gal them are, you know, yeah, I mean, you know, the women, you know what I mean, good God, you know what I mean, right? Right, when they start dance, see? Right, so, you know, but for me, you know, I go to Dinky Mini, and, you know, I go to the, I love the oldies and goodies, where I see the old boys dressed up nice like my old granddad, you know what I mean, dressed up nice, and they're doing the dance with the woman, and, you know, Dinky, Jankuno, right? I've done quite a few videos on this, so I may have to, you know, but it's for people to, you know, it's a, you know, the connection with Africa, the connection with the Europeans, you know, Indians, the Chinese, yeah, there's lots into it, but a lot of, like, Jamaica is, you know, focused on, depending on who it is, and you can't judge that person, because that's just how it is. You know, how are they going to know? You know, Jamaica itself have done a good job in not keeping, like, the great inventions that they make, like reggae, you know, reggae and stuff like that. I mean, the great reggae music, the ska, you know, for me, again, outside influences have affected Jamaica. Always been that way, to be honest, okay? Always been, well, I couldn't say it's always been that way, because people did reject it. You understand how, you know, how can you take someone out of their environment and take them to another environment and tell them to change? Obviously that's going to take a while, but it did work. We're not talking about 1 year, 2 years, you know, we're talking about 400 years, you know, right? Okay, so for me, Jamaica's a lot more than that, but again, it's comedy, and, you know, people may not find that interesting, you know, and also that is, you know, a lot of these things, like, is the core of our people, you know, it's the core of what we're about, where we came from, our origins. Okay, so that is not something to be joking about. So the angle they're joking with, okay, look, another angle, you know, again, we're gonna go a little bit into Rastafarianism, you know what I mean, because it's not something to be to laugh at, you know. It's a serious business, you know. You may have some Rastafarians that may take it lightly, yeah, but there's some that ain't gonna have it. So, you know, within any kind of movement, you're gonna have your left, your centre, your right. You're gonna have some people that, you know, are okay with it, then, you know, the other ones are on the fence kind of thing, you know, and then you got your hardliners and not having it. You understand? Okay, so especially like Rastafari became splintered into different groups, and that's why Haile Selassie found it very difficult to give one organization money and not give to the other. And he could see that there was disunity within the movement. You see, and Haile Selassie was a Christian. He was a Christian, and the first Rastafarian didn't have dreadlocks. We'll go into it. Okay, right? So again, it's a comedy. So for me, I don't take it too, I don't take it too serious. And if I was going to go and watch a film, it's for entertainment purposes. You understand? If it's a documentary, that's different. Or someone gonna, you understand, it can be corrected. But when it comes to comedy, it's like a free for all. Okay, and also it is, you can look at it as an experience to remind you that have we become, are we not appreciating what our ancestors have done? Are we truly representing Jamaica in the right way? We as African people in this, are we representing our race at all times in the best way? And that's what we need to strive for. Okay, we need to strive to put ourselves back as the custodians of nature. Okay, right? Back to our natural selves. It's as if we've been transformed, being created into I like to talk about Frankenstein, but the story of Frankenstein for me is like, it's the creation of a monster. Have we become a monster? Okay, right? Let me know what you think about it in the comment sections, please. Dialogue with me.
Say that for people who haven't had a chance to see it, and we're getting messages going, but we haven't seen it in our town, or it's not at this cinema, it's not that. We've decided this weekend to do something, if you don't mind us saying it, for just 48 hours only. We're going to put it on Vimeo on demand so that everyone can watch it and make your money.
And also, so again, the other part we could look at is what happens in Jamaica as well is a lot of the wealth, people will come to Jamaica and the wealth is taken out of Jamaica. It's not being, you're not giving back. Now we just saw the Ananda reports. So there's lots of missing children in Jamaica. Okay, so how about when people are going to Jamaica and are using Jamaica, that's what it is. They're using Jamaica, okay. Depending on how you want to look at using, again, you got your left, your centre, and your right. So wherever you are on that. For myself, I would sit in the middle, so in this, when all this money is generated, is anything gonna be kind of, what would be nice? Maybe look at charity. Help maybe make a little school. Okay, donate I think right now it's like tablets and and it's not maybe to the older. What about the younger ones coming up? Because these are the ones that we really need to be focusing on. Okay, once you pass your teenage years, you've unfortunately, whatever it depends on, again, you can't generalize, and we have to be careful of generalizing as well. That's what I find, people do generalize a lot. I always careful not to generalize, but let me get back to what I'm saying about the youths. Very important, the early stages development of a person. Okay, that is from from the womb, tender care before, you understand, and then delivered into the world. Okay, and that is very important. So Peter Andre, and the director, and again, they didn't put up his name. You see, again, it's focused on Peter Andre, but the director is there. He should be given as much limelight. Now I don't see his name. They should have his name up there. So, question for you, Peter Andre. Have you got children? And I know that you're very fond of Harvey. Katie Price's son, Dwight York's son. Unfortunately, Harvey is blind. Lovely lad. Shout out to Harvey, man. Big up Harvey. It's quite sad for me. I didn't like what transpired there. I don't know if Dwight York is in contact, but boy, if he's not, that is not very. That's not very good. And so he's always come for me. He's always come across as a very sensitive, caring man. And shout out to Australia as well. Shout out to Peter, my brethren Peter in Brazil. Big him up, man. My brethren. Yeah, originally from Australia, right? So, that would be a good idea to to give back somehow, to try and help Jamaica. Yeah, right. Maybe the youths, or maybe a Nando alert or something. Sometimes it doesn't even have to be money. You can maybe pop over there and do a little workshop, do a drama workshop. Your music and that. Maybe set up a little band or something, or try and revive back the reggae or something, or or find out the needs of the people, and maybe give back something. A lot of the times things are extracted from Jamaica, whether it be in resources, financially, and also the other one is the brain drain. The brain drain in Jamaica. Jamaica talents are extracted, taken away, and are introduced into other people's societies, right? So there's brain drain as well. Brain drain. What a great word. 2 words, brain and drain. Yeah? The brain drain. What about that? Okay. So Jamaica has been robbed a lot of the times. It doesn't benefit from the experience. And that'd be something maybe Peter Andre could look into. Or the director.
Yeah, make your own mind
from
up.
midnight tonight, isn't
From midnight
it?
tonight
48
until
hours.
Sunday midnight, you can catch it on Vimeo Demand and make up your own minds.
Yeah.
Really, you're a bit affronted by an accusation like cultural appropriation. So you sort of, there's a point where you're like, I've written this film, I've directed this film. It's up to me about the context of the film. How people take it is how people
So, he's just addressed the man, but, what's his name? Why isn't his name up there? It's like, he introduces... Listen now, OLeary. Look, it's not... Maybe it's just overlooked, but they didn't really... his name should be up there on the screen so you know who he is.
Watch it.
Yeah, make your own
So
mind
from
up.
midnight tonight, isn't
From midnight
it?
tonight
48 hours.
until Sunday midnight, you can catch it on Vimeo Demand and make up your own minds.
Yeah.
Really, you're a bit affronted by an accusation like cultural appropriation. So you sort of, there's a point where you're like, I've written this film, I've directed this film. It's up to me about the context of the film. How people take it is how people take it. But,
Who signed this off?
you don't want to be told what...
Night, you can catch it on Vimeo Demand and make up your own minds.
Yeah.
Really, you're a bit affronted by an accusation like cultural appropriation.
Well, I'm sorry, Mr. OLeary. I don't want to fall out with you, my friend. But, you now you're kind of taking a stand like, you sound like you're black. It's not really... You understand OLeary, that's an Irish name, You try go, a black man go and do a film about, Ireland, act as an Irishman and take the mickey or whatever and see what happened to you. You know, again, you know, is that a case, you know, like black people, you know, Africa people, yeah? Do we, you know, do we allow people to just come in and deal with us and you can't deal with them like that? That does happen. That does happen. That does happen. Right? For an example, you go make a film about Chinese. A black man go make a film about the Chinese and see what happened to you, or you know, right? Or the Polish or whatever. Yeah, or the Australians or whatever. Yeah, you soon find out. Yeah, having it. You know, right? Are we just like a easy step over? You know, I mean, I believe we are. You know, I believe we are. You know, and we don't really. You know, again, Jamaica hasn't produced that many, you know, big films. Like Harder They Come is a great film. Smile Orange, Rockers. You know, there's been some great films. UK Babylon, yeah, and stuff like that. Are we doing enough? I don't think we're doing enough to, you know, to now in this day and age. You know, where's our productions? Where we should be doing our own, you know, comedies, or, you know, how about reversing it and doing comedies about UK, you know, black cast, UK for an example, or China, you know, it's everyone can use our culture. Okay, so why can't we use theirs? And if it comes to that, then we say, okay, well, no more. Sorry, if we're not allowed to make a comedy about your culture, then don't make a comedy about mine. Simple as.
So you sort of, there's a point of view like, I've written this film, I've directed this film. It's up to me about the context of the film. How people take it is how people take it. But, you know, as a black man, you don't want to be told whether you're appropriating someone else's culture, because it's your culture. I know you're British Nigerian,
Yeah, I mean,
not Jamaican, but you've grown up around Jamaica.
Yeah, I don't.
You see,
I wasn't
nah,
raised
look,
by the Jamaican culture.
you
I
see,
took them
right,
serious.
look, before he start. Now again, I'm going into this, you know, right. It's our fault, you know. I'm talking about Jamaica, you know. We don't appreciate. We ain't got no race pride, you know what I mean. We don't know how intriguing Jamaica is, you know what I mean. We overlook it, you know. We seem to want to adopt other cultures, you know what I mean, and forget about our own, you know, and make use of it. It's one of our one of our strong points, the way that we are. Now, as I'm 1 second there. Right. That look nice. Right. Now, this gentleman is from Nigerian, right? His parents are Nigerian, okay? Right, you're gonna hear his point of view. Okay, we're gonna listen to that and break it down, see what I go on. But the initial question, you see, so some people believe that, you know, we're all the same. You know, and if you tell them that they one time tell you no, we're not the same. One time, the Europeans, none of them is the same. What? All of them fight each other. within the UK, North versus South, right? West, people are different. People are different. Okay, so it's fair to say that it's a strong point. You're from Nigeria. Well, I would love to hear some like a great production from Africa. You know what I mean, or Nigeria, anywhere. So why did he pick Jamaica? And you're gonna hear what he's gonna say, why he did it, and why he felt that he should be allowed. Oh, we've got his name. So it's Freddie Nwaku. Wonderful name. Yeah, director and producer. And also actor. I saw him in the film as well. So they should have put actor as well. Okay. So shout out to Freddie Nwaku. I hope I pronounced your name right. So obviously people, if you did know, Jamaican people, that maybe they would have said to you, how come you never done anything about Africa? Or maybe he might say, well, I have, so it's okay for Dermot to have that kind of perception, right? That like it don't matter, but it does matter. It matters to them. It matters to them. And again, we're in an unfair, 3, 4, 5 ether, you know what I mean? Right? Mental death period. Right? So, I mean, it's fair to say, well, yeah, and if he had done a comedy about parts of Nigeria, how would that go down? Again, it's not people to mess with. It's not people to mess with. Yeah? You can't go to Nigeria and say Nigerian is just like the Ghanaian. You soon find out, right? Or Burkina Faso is like the Malians, or you understand that the Somalians are like the Ethiopians. Both, you can get a Somalian man and a man from Ethiopia. Look the same. Same look. Different people. Different. Many branches. Let me do that again. We are a tree of humanity with many branches. Let's have a listen. Let's go back to OLeary.
There's a point like, I've written this film, I've directed this film. It's up to me about the context of the film. How people take it is how people take it. But, as a black man, you don't want to be told whether you're appropriating someone else's culture, because it's your culture. I know you're British Nigerian, not Jamaican, but you're growing up around.
So
Jamaica.
he's just aren't.
You often have trouble sleeping.
Yeah. You're a bit affronted by an accusation like cultural appropriation. So you sort of, there's a point of it.
So Demo O'Leary's gonna say something, and he's going to answer his own question. His own question. He knows that people are different. You know what I mean? He knows. Look at Pete Andre with him hand. You see? It's as if, I don't know what's going on here, Is there a sinister part of this? Is it sinister? Is it? Is there a sinister part? Andre, look at his body language. You have to watch people's body language again, people. Body language is something that is a field of study. Very important. The looking at people's behavior. Yeah, body language as well. So for me, he asked the question, answered it himself. What do you think?
Like, I've written this film, I've directed this film. It's up to me about the context of the film. How people take it is how people take it. But, as a black man, you don't want to be told whether you're appropriating someone else's culture, because it's your culture. I know you're British Nigerian, not Jamaican, but you're growing up around Jamaica.
Yeah, I don't see it that way. I mean, personally, like I said, I was embraced by the Jamaican culture. I used to MC on the sound systems. I used to wear Clarks and come out and DJ at Carnival. Yeah. And a lot
So
of my friends.
so this is a very British, black British, um, you know, um, this is coming under a stereotype. It's a stereotype. My grandma never played no sound system or nothing like that, or and again, his experience is his experience, But again, we must be careful to not stereotype. It's hard. It's hard because he don't know. That's what he knows. And to me, it's just revealed. For me, I don't think he's learned much about the experience of Jamaica. I mean, having a few Jamaican friends and stuff like that, I don't think it cuts it too far. One sec. So it's making myself a Rosie Lee, no milk, I don't deal with the milk, but some Rosie Lee, it's more of a Turkish style black tea, or the Europeans drink black tea, yeah. So yeah. So that's just revealed, you understand that's revealed something there, Again, it's not, looking at the bigger picture, it's not people's fault. You understand? People can only know what they know. You understand in the approach, but for me, it's quite lackadaisical to kind of say, Jamaica is a lot more than that. It's a lot more than that. It's not just the food. It's not just the reggae music. It's not. It's deeper than that. It's deep. It's deep, and I always say, if you study Jamaica, you know the world. If you see what the creation of Jamaica, and that Jamaica can just be a point of interest, a flag to say, right, in the future, study Jamaica and see. You can. It's a picture of the world. It's a picture of the modern age. The studying of Jamaica. But for me, there's a lot more to it. You understand? But then again, for people that don't know, that's what they know. And, I don't hold that against them or get any disrespect. You know what I mean? People like that, I would like to show them more of Jamaica. You understand? So my advice is, you need to go back to Jamaica, and immerse yourself into different parishes, different people from walks of life. You understand? Okay. And when learning, you gotta listen. Yeah, you gotta be, you gotta have a clear mind as well. It's about clearing out the mind. Clearing out the fuzz, the disturbances, the noise. Yeah, the noise. Like when you turn on the TV and you see that, back in the day, you would see like the pixels, and that's the noise, Okay. So again, you can't really hold him, nail him to the cross. No, man, my brother, man, I can't nail my brother to the cross. You know what I mean? But I can, it's approach. You understand? And respectfully, you know what I mean? There is more to Jamaica, but this is his film, and this is his experience. So let's keep it as that, okay? And if I'm going to complain so much, to be honest, why don't I go and make a film? Check.
You don't want to be told whether you're appropriating someone else's culture, because it's your culture. I know you're British Nigerian,
I mean,
not Jamaican, but you've grown up around Jamaica.
Yeah, I don't see it that way. I mean, personally, like I said, I was embraced by the Jamaican culture. I used to MC on the sound systems. I used to wear Clarks and come out and DJ at Carnival.
Yeah.
And a lot of my friends, I grew up with a lot of Jamaican friends. So for me, again, being able to put a beautiful culture and a beautiful place back in the spotlight was an amazing thing. So yeah, I don't see it as an appropriation at all.
Yeah.
And with me, like, I'm Greek, I've said this before, when I see films where they play the stereotypical Greek with the hairy chest and the medallion and the big nose, and they do the accent, I find that hilarious.
Yeah.
I find offensive if someone's saying really horrible things about your culture, and so I was a little bit confused, but I understand.
Yeah,
You see, he's saying that he understands. He keeps cutting. You must stop that. Stop. One sec.
really
All
horrible
I'm for, I
things about
take
your
it.
culture, and so
Oh, look there
I
now.
was a little bit confused.
Look there
but
now, the
I
spirit gone with this
understand.
video.
I
Watch
do
her.
get it. I mean,
Can't even
we're
stop
in a
him.
time
Watch
where
her.
there's so much negativity in
Look.
the world, so much sadness, so much trauma.
See?
I think it's a time where we need to smile more, laugh more.
It's
and,
live
you know,
there,
just
people. You see
sometimes
it.
escape from the
You see what happened there?
pains
Next
of-
time when we film in Jamaica, so I was a little bit confused. But
Yeah, but he's cut off the guy again. The guy. The question is not to you, Peter. Okay, it's the most important.
This weekend to do something if you don't.
Most important part of the show is not about you. Okay, the man is let the man talk. Don't cut the man. You know. Again, it's cultural. You understand? Some people have it, but hey, you know, you have to nip it in the bud. Excuse me. You know, can I speak? Can I just? You know what I mean? They've asked me a question. Never asked you. Okay, we're talking about the actual, the deepness of this, you know, conversation. Okay? It's not his fault. How is he gonna know? He's gonna, well, he will never even watch this video. I would love to have Peter Andre on. You understand? You know what I mean? Right? So, it's like, my problem is he's cutting the man off from the questions. Let me stick to that. You're cutting the, you know, the man off, and then you're coming with your thing about, that's your business. This film is not about Greece. It's not about Australia. It's about Jamaica. Okay? Directed by a Nigerian man. And you are acting mostly, it's a European kind of cast. Okay, the diaspora, right? Okay, did they use the Jamaican actors? Maybe a few. You know, again, you know, how much were they involved? You understand what I'm saying? And again, I'm not diminishing. You understand that people have to do what they have to do. You understand we have to take a lot of accountability of how maybe we're not doing enough to show people the true magic of Jamaica, you know, the true origins, you know what I mean? Right? Okay? Not the stereotype. You see? Right? But again, the only problem I had there, that's the second time he cut the man off. And he seems he's trying to take the argument to him, but it doesn't really pertain him in that way. Now, not because you've acted in this film, or you understand, you're not Jamaican, okay? And it's fair to say the man is that the guy, I forget his name now, sorry. Nwaku, is it Nwaku? Nwaka, right? Again, he's Nigerian. And let the man speak. The question was not addressed to both of you, it was addressed to him. Let's go back.
Quite do that.
Yeah, I mean, trailers are designed to get people to want to watch a film and, again, to spark conversation, and I think it's done that.
Look,
Well, absolutely.
Because I know we haven't got long. I just want to say that for people who haven't had a chance to see it, and we're getting
And, again, to spark conversation, and I think it's done that.
Look, if you don't mind me saying, because I know we haven't got long, I just want to say that for people who haven't had a chance to see it, and we're getting messages going, but we haven't seen it in our town, or it's not at this cinema, it's not that. We've decided this weekend to do something, if you don't mind us saying it, for just 48 hours only. We're going to put it on Vimeo on demand, so that everyone can watch it and make your mind up.
Make your own mind up.
Watch it.
Yeah, make your own
So
mind
from
up.
midnight tonight,
From midnight tonight until Sunday midnight, you can catch it on Vimeo on demand and make up your own minds.
Yeah. Really, you're a bit affronted by an accusation like cultural appropriation. So you sort of, there's a point of view like, I've written this film, I've directed this film. It's up to me about the context of the film. How people take it is how people take it. But, you know, as a black man, you don't want to be told whether you're appropriating someone else's culture because it's your culture. I know you're British Nigerian,
I mean,
not Jamaican, but you've grown up around Jamaica.
Yeah, I don't say it that way. I mean, personally, like I said, I was embraced by the Jamaican culture. I used to MC on the sound systems. I used to wear Clarks and come out and DJ at Carnival.
Yeah.
And a lot of my friends, I grew up with a lot of Jamaican friends. So for me, again, being able to put a beautiful culture and a beautiful place back in the spotlight was an amazing thing. So yeah, I don't see it as an appropriation at all.
Yeah.
And you know, with me, like I'm Greek, I've said this before.
Yeah,
you know,
OLeary.
So for me,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, come on. It's very, you know, come on, man. You know, that's what I'm trying to say. People really ain't got no, They don't understand, you know, like, you know, it's very blasé, you know, and that I have a problem with. That I have a problem with. You know what I mean? Like, you know, no. No, it's not so blasé as you see it. You know, if they're saying that they've come to make a conversation, then you have to accept the conversation that's coming. It might not be what you want to hear, but hey, guess what happened to people like myself? I still have to listen. Some people lock off ears, lock off eyes, locked off. You're speaking to them, and zoom, gone, spirit gone with him. Lock him off. Boop, one time. You don't want to hear that? Boop, just turn the switch off. You know, I always say it's like a horse with the blinkers on. You know, they have the horse with the blinkers. The reason for the blinkers, they can only look one way. You can't look to the side so they can see some food to eat. You understand? So it's narrow. The vision is narrow. Open your eyes, people. Open your ears. JTV.
Again, being able to put a beautiful culture and a beautiful place back in the spotlight was an amazing thing. So yeah, I don't see it as an appropriation at all.
Yeah.
And you know, with me, like I'm Greek, I've said this before, you know, when I see films where they play the stereotypical Greek with the hairy chest and the medallion and the big nose and they do the accent, I find that hilarious.
Yeah.
I find offensive if someone's saying really horrible.
Right, so I've got my other video. I'm going to release that one now. Right, but I mean, I don't see that as being Greek, you know. Again, you know, P. Andre is quite, you know, he's revealing his kind of, he's also, let him ever go over to Greece and try that with them. Let him ever try that and see what they then soon tell him about himself or mash up him face. These people don't muck about, you know. It's only black people you can do that to. You can't do that to no other race of people, right? No matter how rich or poor they are. You stereotype them. They'd soon tell you that no, and they're right, you know. So it's funny. He's even got this kind of stereotypical kind of mindset on part of his origins. Okay, for me, I don't see the Greek as being like that. Medallions and that's his perception. That's his perception. I never think that way. Okay, but I've done my video on Greece. It's going to be released now. That's what I do. I just, you know, because I study and I study cultures, you know what I mean? And then I'm not going to, I haven't done my field work. I haven't been everywhere. So you understand? And I stand to reason to say, well, someone come along and says, boom, fair play. Okay? Right? So I go, but I don't, go all the way in. 'Cause I think that's reckless. You understand? Because you got to do your field work. You understand? And we all have, in the conscious, we have like these stereotypes of things because we haven't done the field work. You know, field work, people, field work. Someone telling you something, find out if they've been in the field, if their shoes are dirty. You know.
Things about your culture, and so I was a little bit confused, but I understand.
Yeah, I do get it. I mean, we're in a time where there's so much negativity in the world, so much sadness, so much trauma, and I think it's a time where we need to smile more, laugh more. And,
what is that keeps coming up on the screen there? Did you see that?
We're in a time where there's so much negativity in the world, so much sadness, so much trauma, and I think it's a time where we need to smile more, laugh more, and just sometimes escape from the.
Yes, but again, laugh at this is another thing. Laughing with someone is different than laughing at someone. Let's get it. You understand? Let's go. You know what I mean? Let's keep it British then. Okay, the rules and law and regulations. Okay, right? They would tell you that even at school. They would tell you. You understand? Laughing with someone is different to laughing at someone. Fair play. This is his chance, and maybe look, he may need another. He should be on some podcasts. You know, I'm surprised he's not on some more podcasts than Peter Andre. You know, on on these, and maybe he might feel a bit more comfortable, or whatever, or maybe do his own video about it. Maybe he said, "Oh, I didn't like." I think he done well. You understand? I mean, but again, it could go further. They could push this thing a bit further. The director and Andre, is it Nwaku? You know. Right. So yes. So for me, there's a lot of stereotypes. You understand, and you ain't gonna get away from stereotypes, and there's a lot of revelation in what's being said in this interview. But I cannot hold them, to the wall and get the riflemen out to deal with them, right? No, because maybe he didn't. Maybe it's a bit deeper than that. You understand? Who knows? Who knows? Or maybe that's what he believes. You understand? And we can't take people's you can't take that away from people. People are their environment. You can't. That's just how it is. You are your environment. You know. Okay. Right. So where was I? Let's carry on here.
Next time when we film in Jamaica, which was a dream of mine, can you not just leave me standing there by myself? He said to me, he goes to me, "I've got you, man. Don't worry." I mean, the whole outfit. I'm standing there. Next time.
What is he gonna do? If the bubba them ever listen, you see, you got some serious man out there, I ain't joking. There's some serious man. Right? They take the thing serious. Like everyone else. They do, but you understand? So, I mean, it's not a place where you can just go. You can't do that, Peter. You put your life up, you can't do that. And you might even get away with it. You understand? Because sometimes, depending on where you're from or the colour of your skin, you get away with certain things in Jamaica. But let a next man try that. Let a next man try that and see what happens to him. And see what happens. Cross. And get some pussy clout lick, you see?
We film in Jamaica, which was a dream of mine. Can you not just leave me standing there by myself? He said to me, he goes to me,
madman.
"I've got you, man. Don't worry." I mean, the whole.
This is what I'm saying.
Next time when you.
And I think he's genuinely interested. And Pete Andre should go back and try and immerse himself. Why not go and do a show or something? You understand? Go back to Jamaica, and there's an angle. They can do a lot from this film. They can do a lot. You understand? They can do a lot from this film. So I mean, you have to be careful, and but again, what is he gonna do? Listen, come on, man. That's like me going to Nigeria, like, oh, I just want to. People are like, no, you can't do it. And they're right to tell you that. They're right. You don't know what I got on you, sir. Yeah? Just, build back. Yeah. That's what we like. Build back. Easy yourself. Dress back. And, again, it's such a magical place, and it's wonderful, man. I'm telling you, Jamaica is. Oh man, if you listen, Jamaica is gonna be for the rich. Yeah, they're trying to ethnically cleanse Jamaica. Simple as. That's what they're trying to do. You understand? Because it's a paradise. It's a paradise. But also, what makes this paradise is the culture, is the people. You understand? And once that's taken away, it won't be that place anymore. Okay, just be a place for the rich, or you understand? Yeah? It'd be a new creation, but it would never truly be that Jamaica again. And for me, it's like, it is that eroding of Jamaica, making it a new place. You understand? Right? Making it a new place. Right? Right, I've lost my train of thought there. Let's go back a bit and run this video. Lost
We're
my
in a
train
time
of...
where there's so much negativity in the world, so much sadness, so much trauma, and I think it's a time where we need to smile more, laugh more, and you know, just sometimes escape from the.
That's true. That's true. That's why you've done a comedy. That's true. That's true. You know, it's very important, and I do feel he's right there. I do feel there is a lack of empathy, and you know, a lack of joy. Yeah, joy. And you know, Jamaica is a joyful place. You know, people are really joyful. You know, they're joyful, man. They're like Africa, like everyone. They have their joyful. You know, people. You know, people are joyful. You know, so this is his way of you know, bringing back some humour to the world, and he's chosen Jamaica. So yeah, again, it's a comedy. You know, I'm gonna have to definitely watch this film and you know, watch it as a comedy, and you know, I'm sure I'd like it. You know, I don't think I'm not gonna like it. You understand? But you know, they're saying that these questions and stuff like that are being asked, and that's what they wanted. They wanted to make a conversation, yeah. But the conversation deeper than that. You understand? Caribbeans versus the Africans in the UK, right? How black people don't get along, unite in the UK. They don't. You see? So it's not us. It's, again, this is just a start. This should just be like a little groundwork. You understand? Could explore, and I hope that they must do, or I'll have to do it. You see, but I don't get the views. You see, I don't get the views. So, you know, and I appreciate the views, and thank you all for the subscriptions and likes and comments, and you know, I'm not doing that for views. You understand? I'm truly trying to. You know, it's my journey, it's my diary, yeah, it's my diary, right? My footprint, my other channel got taken away, which is a shame, you know what I mean? But we live and learn, and so I'm back here again, and yeah, so the conversations are gonna, and that's gonna be. You know, the line of thought now is the conversation from this, you know, but it can be expanded. So other content creators, come on, man, get on it. Let's expand this.
Next time when we film in Jamaica, which was a dream of mine, can you not just leave me standing there by myself? He said to me, he goes to me, I've got you, man, don't worry. I mean, the whole outfit.
A Jamaican would have said, dog, we name your supper, but you want to go, listen. Lucky.
Next time when we film in Jamaica, which was a dream of mine, can you not just leave me standing there by myself? He said to me, he goes to me, I've got you, man, don't worry. I mean, the whole outfit, I'm standing there and I'm
Don't leave me.
Don't leave me. And then I hear a noise, I turn around, I go back and he's gone. And I'm standing there by myself going... But it was lovely.
Do you love Jamaica?
Oh my God.
Have you been before?
That was the dream. The bucket
That was
list
one of his dreams.
Is that your first time?
He said to me, Freddie, look, I will do it on two. I have to go and eat the Jamaican food.
Yeah.
I have to meet Oliver, and I have to meet Sizzler.
And I got to work with
And he got
that was like
Sizzler was super
You've got
cool.
all your dreams in one.
Sizzler's an amazing guy, and to even be invited into Judgment Yard, it's a place, a sacred place. You can't just walk in there.
Explain what Judgment Yard is.
It's a compound that Sizzler, I guess, runs basically, and it's this very spiritual.
Yeah.
You can't just go there. You have to be invited into the place.
Rastafarian, right?
Yeah, it's all Rastas. So
Yeah.
to go in there and sit down with him, even to be there, was for me.
Incredible.
It's just you can feel the energy. It's like you can just feel it. It's beautiful.
And again, it's really important to say at any point there we would have known if something wasn't right.
Because he wouldn't have done it.
Yeah, there's no way.
Well, I think again, people need to see the movie.
Yeah.
They need to see the film.
Thank you so much.
So, like all these things, you can't take things out of context. You cannot judge anything on. We get it all the time on a 30-second clip. And
Yeah.
you know, and suddenly.
I'm going to get in trouble now for saying you can't act, when really I know you can act. I'm going to get in trouble. That's going to be over the news, and
Yeah,
that'll
but
be the
you
next
did that
thing.
so
watch the whole
no,
thing
but
before
hang
you
on,
make
you
it.
What
did
did she
that
say?
so
We get it all the time on a 30-second clip.
Yeah.
And and suddenly...
I'm going to get in trouble now for saying you can't act, when really I know you can act. I'm going to get in trouble. That's going to be over the news.
Wonderful. Alison is a wonderful, bubbly lady, huh?
That actually she should act in the sequel.
Yeah, I think we should give you a cameo.
Yes, that would be great. Great idea. Great idea. This should be number one, but again, it'd be nice if, on a serious note, there's a lots of conversations we really need to have, people. We really need to be real, you understand, to just get that out, get that, you know what I mean? Should be pulling together, man. You understand? We should be pulling together. We need to get back our race pride, and you understand, we've got a lot of work to do. But how about working for ourselves, building our own thing? Judge.
I don't judge anything on... We get it all the time on a 30-second clip.
Yeah.
And suddenly...
I'm going to get in trouble now for saying you can't act, when really I know you can act. I'm going to get in trouble. That's going to be over the news, and
Yeah,
that'll
but
be the next
you did that
You've got to watch the whole thing before you make
You
your
did that so well that actually she should act in the sequel.
Yeah, I think we should give you a cameo.
How about that? I'm smiling about
See? We are already starting to work on a sequel to this.
Can I be the love
Different
interest?
country, different characters, but we got...
Should I be the love interest, though?
I've already thought about
Yeah, you are. And that you like. Easy.
Thank you for visiting
Shout out, people.
this morning
Yeah,
YouTube
man.
channel. We
Big up,
upload
big up,
new
big up, big up,
content
big up,
every
big up.
day, So go ahead and hit that subscribe button so
I'll catch you on the next one. Yeah? Outro.
You're going to church on Sunday. There's no love in your heart on Monday. You're trying to show me that you know yourself. You better purify your heart and you know yourself. You better purify your heart and you know yourself. But no vex, that it's your time I'm telling ya. A fool saving is there's no God. But if that's your belief, my friend, it's too sad. But now you're trying to tell me that you know yourself. You got to purify your heart, then you know yourself. You better purify your heart, then you know yourself. Progress, my brethren, that you know that it's your time, I tell you. But see a fool saving his answer fast, there's no God. But if that's your belief, my little friend, it's too sad. But now you're trying to show me that you know yourself. You better purify your heart and you know yourself. You better purify your heart and you know yourself. It's not by how long you go, you're not here. Say that you know, say last year. It's not by how long you go, you're not here. You come and say that you know, say last year. Sunday.